Good morning, everyone. We are going to be walking on Avenue Z, and we have literally just got on the beginning of Avenue Z. We are in the Sheepshead Bay section of Brooklyn. If you watched, we just did the Voorhees Avenue walk without commentary. So we're in that area still. And we'll be walking along Avenue Z until we get to Shell Road. We will then hang a right and we will end it up on 86th Street over by Avenue X, where McDonald's Avenue begins or ends, depends on which side of McDonald Avenue you're on. Avenue Z is heavily residential. I say heavily residential because you can see you got a lot of these. You're gonna see a lot of these buildings, these high-rise buildings. Well, not high-rise, but you know, apartment complex type buildings all the way down. When we get down to Shell Road, that's over by the other side of the train yard, and then you got the F train that runs over there. So this walk should be quiet. We'll see. Temperature is 40. It's nice out. It's a little bit of a breeze, but it's nice. The sun is definitely warming me up. Looks like someone's coming out. They do have some smaller private family homes mixed in with the bigger buildings. I am doing this walk on Monday. If I'm correct in my days, I believe it is January 8th as I'm doing this walk. We did not get snow, in case anyone's wondering. So the snow drought continues. It did snow pretty hard. It was like wet snow though. It was like those big, wet snowflakes. Probably about an hour after I got home and finished that 85th Street walk, it started really coming down. And you see all the little kids like in the area looking out the window hoping that it was going to stick, but I knew it wasn't going to stick. And it lasted for about an hour. There was, you know, some slush that piled up on like the lawns and on the roofs and stuff like that, and then it started pouring. It just changed over to rain. It was pretty much raining all day, all night, and it rained yesterday morning for a bit. We're going to be crossing Nostrand Avenue. Nostrand Avenue is an intersection. You got to pay attention. You can see these guys are getting itchy to get through this crosswalk. So speaking of snow or rain, we have another big storm coming in. This is going to be a real big storm, and it's going to be here tomorrow. Pretty much start around noon. It's going to go all through the night. And last until Wednesday. And Wednesday is, supposed to be a pretty windy day. Some nice homes across the street. Problem is the sun is to my left. So aiming the camera that way might be hard to see. By the way, we're on East 29th Street. We are in the East Street territory. This home's got some big windows. Yeah, we get a lot of storms here in the Northeast in the wintertime. A lot of nor'easter type storms, which are what I like to call baby tropical storms. They're pretty potent too. They're not like weak storms. They can be pretty potent. I know for the storm that's coming in, they're calling for 60-mile-an-hour winds in some places. So I live on the coast. So we've already got a gale warning issued for the area. We don't have a natural barrier to protect us, so we get hit by the wind. We are the natural barrier. How's that? We take the brunt of the wind over there in Bath Beach. But it'll be all rain again. Once again, no snow. The snow drought continues. Last time it snowed that I did a walk was January 29th, 2022. So we're coming up on 2 years. At this yeshiva. Interesting looking building. Yeah, so we are on the last letter of the alphabet when it comes to avenues here in Brooklyn. We are on Avenue Z. And as you can see, nothing really happens down here. Do have a church coming up eventually. We'll take a look at that. It's a beautiful church. Actually playing the church bells right now. You kind of hear, I can hear them. I don't know if the mic is picking it up. And this is Bedford Avenue. So we have really hit the ground walking, not running, but January's been the first week or two here. For me, it's been pretty busy. December was kind of a very lazy month in terms of walking. That's probably how I'll do it going forward in the future. Do all the walking all year. You get to the end of the year, you got Christmas, holidays, you really don't want to do anything. And then January comes and you're right back to work. Although this is definitely not work. I don't consider this work. My legs do. I don't. I consider my legs like a separate entity. East 23rd Street. Now this area we're hitting right here will get a little bit more, it'll start to get a little bit more busy as far as this, storefronts, commercial zone. And then over there is a little street that cuts out, that starts here and only runs for a little while. It's called Jerome Avenue. Not to be confused with Jerome Avenue in the Bronx, but this is Jerome Avenue over here. Kind of give you a little look. It's a short road, it goes through. Well, I wouldn't say it's a short road, but it's shorter than the regular roads. It just cuts through. We'll get back on that side. I just wanted to show you guys that Brooklyn does have a Jerome Avenue. Little pup. Gotta stop. That car didn't look like it was gonna stop at the sign. Alright, so we'll take a look at this church. It's a really old church. It's the Church of St. Mark on Ocean Avenue. This is where those church bells were coming from. What we'll do is we'll cross over here. We'll have to wait for the light. I will start the walk back up when the light turns green. All right, we are crossing Ocean Avenue. Ocean Avenue is one of those lights that stays red for a while. nice nativity scene out here. And here is the church. We got the church tower, which faces the next block. And that next block being East 19th Street. So we'll take a little walk up East 19th, and we will take a really, well, we don't even have to. We'll cross the street, turn around, and look up, because the sun is hitting the tower at that angle, so probably get a good look. Turn around in a second. Here we go. There is the tower. And we continue on. We continue on to Shell Road. We're walking from pretty much Knapp Street. We're walking from the other side of there's like a power plant over there. Because Avenue Z ends on the other side of the power plant, so that's where we're starting from. Where Avenue Z begins or ends, depending on your perspective. Which reminds me, I have to pick up some fruit. Got all this fruit out here. I gotta go on a fruit run. I eat more fruit in the spring and summertime than I do in the fall and the winter. It's not a good excuse not to eat fruit, but that's just how my diet changes. You know, as the winter comes, I eat a little differently. And I always tend to forget to get fruit in the wintertime. I guess it's, you know, in the summertime, it's refreshing to have fruit, you know. In the wintertime, you're just trying to stay warm. So I feel like I eat more vegetables in the winter and I eat more fruit in the summer. I said this was going to be a quiet walk. I guess I was wrong. I mean, it's quiet in the sense of it's not crazy noisy. But this is the train trestle for the Q and the B trains. The Sheepshead Bay stop is one block down to my left. I'm walking into a headwind. It is, it's not bad. It actually is refreshing considering, you know, I'm a little warm. As a matter of fact, you can see the train station from here. Barely. You can see a little awning up there. That's the Sheepshead Bay train station. I had gotten a question from somebody out of town. It was actually a good question, so I'll talk about it now. When I'm doing my walks, especially when you do like the walks along the avenues going towards the 60s, a lot of times what will happen is you will have, speaking of the train, there goes the train going, you'll have a stop, right? And let's just pick a stop, 18th Avenue on the N line. And what'll happen is I'll do a walk on 17th Avenue, and as I'm walking, we pass by the 18th Avenue train station for the N line. So now somebody had asked me, they were confused. They were like, why is the name of the station 18th Avenue, but it's on 17th Avenue? And the reason for that is the stations are pretty much a block long. They're one city block long. All right, this person right here, let me get pissed off and say this person is just blocking the crosswalk and the walking ramp off to the sidewalk. So there you go. Anyway, getting back to the story. What happens is the train stations are basically a city block long. And you can get off on either end of the station, being either 18th Avenue end or the 17th Avenue end. Now, depending on what the name of the station is, it's not going to change the name of the station on the other end, right? So the 18th Avenue train station, if you get out on the north side of the station where the front of the train is, that's going to leave you up on 18th Avenue. But if you want to get off on 17th Avenue, you walk basically the other side to the other side of the platform, or the length of the block. You're basically walking down one block. That's why you'll see a lot of stops that may say Bay Parkway on the N line, but then you can get off on different sides, you know. So that's all that is for that person that was confused about that. I mean, most of the train stops on a lot of the elevated lines, you'll notice that many of the stops may only have an exit all the way at the front, which is sometimes inconvenient, and they'll name the stop based on where the staircase goes down. On the D line, you might get off at the 79th Street train station, but if you walk to the back of the platform and go down, you'll end up on, like, I guess, I don't know, 70, and those are street blocks, so those are shorter blocks, so you might end up on like maybe 77 or 76th Street. But that's just the way it works with the train stations here in New York. We are getting close to making our turn. Looks a little busy over here. Some of the houses on Avenue Z here. The houses can drastically change from one house to another. You get these small houses, and then you get this house right here. And then you get this small bungalow, this yellowish kind of house. Nice color, I guess. It's like gold. That's actually gold. It's shimmering like bars of gold. We are now on East 11th Street. We're about to hit Coney Island Avenue. I'm walking a little fast right now because I would like to get that light. It's going to change like soon. And it has changed. The Coney Island Avenue Bridge over there that goes over the Parkway. I'll take you down to Brighton Beach. Right after you get off that little bridge up there. Just a few blocks down, you'll be over at Brighton Beach Avenue underneath the L over there.
Thank you. Same to you.
We have been walking for 28 minutes. So this is a good walk. Figured the last walk, Voorhees Avenue, and this walk won't be as long as our normal walks, but we do have to mix in the shorter walks. Originally, I was going to go into the city today, but I had a couple of things that I had to do in the afternoon. I was going to do this route eventually, and then I decided to move it up. But we'll get back out into the city. We're coming up on Ocean Parkway, if you're wondering what this complex is. It's the Coney Island, somebody's really hacking. Coney Island Hospital area. You hear all the ambulances? And this is a very busy emergency room. I'll say that. One of the most busiest in Brooklyn. This is a newer building, by the way, as you can see just looking at it, it's newer. And then you have the much older Coney Island Hospital building next to it. on Ocean Parkway. We're getting there right now. We're about to hit Ocean Parkway. Got these bungalow style condo units right across from the hospital. Man, they must really hear a lot of ambulances going off all day and at night. There's another intersection I would like to get at a green light. Last year, I was doing a lot of walks, and it was funny because if you watch a lot of those walks, and good portion of them were non-commentary, but even the ones where I did commentary, there were times when I always got the light at a major intersection. And I'm about to get this one. Ocean Parkway. I keep saying it, I'll say it again, we will do an Ocean Parkway walk. I'm walking right through the red light because of no one's turning. The reason the light doesn't turn, and there goes the other hospital building over there. The reason the light doesn't turn green or walk right away is because of the fact that there still is a turn that has to be allowed for a lot of these cars to come off of Ocean Parkway. But if you are a local like myself and you're used to crossing Ocean Parkway your whole life, you feel comfortable knowing when you can cross against it if you see that nobody's making that turn. So that's why I went right through. Now you saw the girl that was in front of me across, she was standing there. But if there's no cars making that turn, you're pretty good. Because right after that turn light, it goes green and then you can walk. So. This stretch of Avenue Z is where there's just a lot of these buildings. And inside these, when you walk through this whole complex, there's a lot of green lawns and a lot of pathways that lead you to the other buildings. Now, when I was living on 21st Avenue, I was living in a doorman building on 21st Avenue off of 86th Street. You had to do your, obviously you had a lease. And that was before they turned it into condos. Because when I first, it was a condo, and then, the buildings buy them out eventually when they convert them to apartments. And this is where it would come. There's an office over here in one of these buildings. This is the main office for a lot of the buildings that the leasing company owns. You could either mail it, I would just walk it in here, or drive it in. We're walking a little uphill now. You can see this area right here in a second. Just all path and lawn all the way down to the other side where the Bell Parkway is. In the summertime, you see a lot of kids out here. Tons of kids out here playing and stuff. A lot of the local kids that live in these buildings. We're getting close to Shell Road. Gonna get back on the other side. Key food. We have a pup here. Another question I got some time back was, do I feel funny when I point the camera at people? So, not really. It depends. I mean, I don't point the camera at a lot of people. If I point the camera at someone, it's because it just photographically looks interesting. So I'm a photographer, so, you know, I do street photography. So if I see something interesting, I'll think about it. Like there's a thing that we say, you know, if you feel funny or if you feel like something's wrong, then just don't do it, you know, go with your gut. So, but I try to be respectful. There have been times when I point the camera away from a person. If a person kind of looks like they're having a bad day or something, I won't throw it on camera. I'm opposite a lot of those, I guess, shock YouTubers. You know, I'm not into the whole drama thing. So if I see something going on, if I see a fight, I mean, I'll record it, but I won't. I might edit it out and make it a separate clip or something. But generally, I won't record somebody having a bad moment. Now, of course, there are times when you don't have a choice. You know, it happens right in front of you. So there you go. But like that guy back there with the dog, I thought it was interesting and wanted to get it on camera. This is Shell Road. This is it. We're making the turn, Avenue Z. So Avenue Z ends here, but it does continue on the other side of the yard, the train yard complex. This is a large MTA complex over here. One of the largest in all the 5 boroughs. And Avenue Z, there is a small Avenue Z out there on the other side. And that is the F train. Pulling into Avenue X where we are ending it. So right where you see that train pulling in, that is where we are ending the walk. But you can see, you know, there's the complex across from us. It's a very big train yard. They got everything over here. Everything from the yard itself, where they lay up the trains, mechanic, train overhaul building. They even have, you know, the car wash in there for the trains. It's a large complex. I suggest you pull up a satellite. You know, you could, on Google Maps, you could just hover over the area and click on the satellite view, and you'll be able to see how big this train complex really is. It's huge. I remember years ago, because I was a consultant in the MTA with doing a lot of the upgrades for some of their signal systems, and we had to walk on the tracks and everything like that. But I remember one of the guys telling us, one of the train workers, one of the track workers, telling us that you know, the tracks, the amount of track that they have in this yard is actually more track than some countries have as far as their trains are concerned. That's how much train track is in this complex over here. Yeah, MF tires over here. Smells like rubber. Avenue Y. I want to thank everybody for coming along on this walk. And stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for more walks. I want to welcome everybody that subscribed recently. We've picked up some subscribers over the holidays and in the last week, so welcome. If you're new, we do walks all over the area. We do commentary and non-commentary. So, you know, if you're new to the channel and you see a walk pop up and I'm not speaking, that doesn't mean my microphone's broken. Doesn't mean I lost my voice. That just means it's a walk where there's no commentary. So we do both. Most of my storm chases, my weather ones, and you could go look into the library for some of our best thunderstorm walks. Those walks I never speak in those. I like people to enjoy the ambience of the storm, the sound of the rain, the sound of the thunder. So Looks like he's stopping over there. Wonder if somebody's hurt in the train station or in the... It looks like they're going into the... Uh-oh. Wonder if it's a worksite accident. Never good when you see an MTA ambulance going into the MTA yard facility. All right, we are ending it here. I might stop at L&B and get some pizza. If you want to see Avenue X, we have done an Avenue X walk before. It's in the library. We'll do another one though. All right, everyone. I want to thank everybody for coming along on the walk. We're going to end it here at the Avenue X train station on Avenue X and pretty much where 86th Street begins or ends or whatever. Take care, everyone.